Well, The Miracle of Christmas in July by Frank Peretti. It was July. There was no snow, no tinsel, no Christmas trees or carolers singing Silent Night. It was summer. The sun was hot. The folks in Daniel's neighborhood were busy with their lives. They were cranky from the heat. No one was thinking about Christmas. Ruth, Daniel's mom, didn't want to think about Christmas either. Her husband, a kind man whom she loved and Daniel had loved, had died almost a year ago. So their last Christmas was not a happy one. Christmas only reminded both of them how lonely they were. So Ruth had left thoughts of Christmas far behind, except for 3 little words she'd heard at Christmas time so long ago: all is well. She liked to say them often, whenever trouble came, whenever she felt sad. For some reason, those 3 little words brought her hope and lifted her spirits. "Mom, didn't you buy any Cheerios?" Daniel asked. "No," said Ruth, "but look at it this way. We saved money, and I didn't have to carry as much stuff home. I didn't have to carry Cheerios or ice cream or popcorn or dish soap. Just feel how light the grocery bag is." "Yeah, nice, light and easy. But where's the Cheerios?" "All is well." "All is well," Daniel answered, barely above a whisper. "That's the stuff. And besides, it won't be long before I get a raise at work, and we'll have a little bit more money around here." "Then, can you go back to nursing school?" asked Daniel. His mom tried to look happy even though her eyes were sad. "Well, no. I still have to work to pay the bills, Daniel." "I could work." "Thanks, but you're a little too little." "I could sell stuff." "Honey, we've already sold everything that isn't nailed down." But Ruth was thinking about other things. "Did we get any mail?" "I put it on the counter," said Daniel. Ruth opened the envelope and frowned. "What is it, Mom?" It's a letter from Mr. Baines, the man who owns this house." Oh, Daniel had met Mr. Baines once. He was grumpy and didn't like children. "Is he mad?" "Well, he wants money again, or we'll have to move out." Daniel thought of the old house they lived in. It creaked when they walked, leaked when it rained, and the old toilet was noisy. "Is that so bad?" Ruth set the letter down and tried to look happy. "Oh, don't worry. We'll make it somehow." "So, can I?" Daniel pleaded. "Can you what, honey?" "Sell stuff." Ruth said, "Yes, you can." Very early the next morning, the neighbors could hear the rumble and squeak of Daniel's wagon. He was going from house to house, timidly knocking at every door. "Knock, knock." "Hi, I'm Daniel Preston from down the street. I'm selling stuff." Abby Duvall, the plumber's wife, was still in her bathrobe, and the sunlight was making her squint. "You're selling stuff? Looks like junk to me." "Yes, but it's good junk. Look at this. A coffee can. You can keep things in it. Look, it's so shiny on the bottom you can see yourself." Mrs. Duvall laughed. "I don't need any more empty cans around here, honey." Daniel opened a large box full of mismatched, tangled, old, and new sparkly surprises. "How about some Christmas ornaments?" "In July? You can use them later, can't you?" Mrs. Duvall shook her head. "No, I don't want to think about Christmas. I have enough problems." "Don't you want to buy anything?" "Not today, child." And with that, she closed the door. The rest of the morning didn't go much better. It seemed all the neighbors had plenty of junk already. and they had no time to talk to a little boy selling more of it. "Dear God," Daniel said, "you just gotta help me sell something. I don't want Mom to be sad," Daniel prayed. Honk, honk! It was Mr. Patrick in his old red truck. Daniel waved hello because friendly Mr. Patrick always waved back. This time he stopped and rolled down his window. "Hi there, Daniel." "Hi, Mr. Patrick." Mr. Patrick had white frizzy hair and a round red nose. He loved children. He'd always let Daniel and his friends cross his yard to get to the woods. "What do you have in the wagon?" "I'm selling special stuff today. Want to take a look?" Mr. Patrick parked his truck and got out. He was dirty. He had been working at the gardening store again. "I've got a shiny coffee can or a nice egg carton. Or how about this can opener?" "Well, what's in the box?" asked Mr. Patrick. "Oh, that's Christmas stuff. I guess it's the wrong time of year. Nobody wants to buy it right now." Let me see it." Daniel opened the box and the sunlight danced across the silver and gold sparkles. Mr. Patrick carefully picked up each piece. A toy soldier, a teddy bear, a silver star, a paper chain. Then he must have seen something that touched his heart. He picked it up and held it in his hand. Then he looked at Daniel with gentle, loving eyes. "Why are you selling all these things, Daniel?" "So we don't have to move," said Daniel, "and Mom can go back to nursing school like she always wanted." "I'll give you $10 for the whole box," said Mr. Patrick. Daniel couldn't even talk. His eyes and mouth were stuck wide open. Mr. Patrick pulled out a crinkled $10 bill and put it in Daniel's hand. "Merry Christmas." $10? Wait till I show Mom! Daniel threw open the front door. He ran across the floor that creaked and found his mom on the couch. "Mom, look!" He held up the $10 bill. "Now we don't have to move, and you can go to nursing school." "Oh, Daniel, that's wonderful." Oh, she tried to sound cheerful, but her eyes were red and Daniel knew she had been crying. "What's the matter, Mom?" "Oh, nothing. We're doing great, and you are really being helpful. $10? Wow, son." But Daniel could not feel good. He could only stare at his mother's sad face. "Mom, tell me how come." "How come what, honey?" "How come all is well? You always used to tell me, how come every Christmas. Remember?" "Well, of course, I remember. It's because..." She just sat there and couldn't say another word. Knock, knock, knock. When Mrs. Lloyd opened the front door, there was Mr. Patrick. "Hello, Doris. How are you today?" Mrs. Lloyd was sitting in a wheelchair and was not feeling well at all. She managed to smile at Mr. Patrick. "I'm okay, I guess." "I suppose you had a visit from little Daniel selling his special treasures," asked Mr. Patrick. "Sure did, but I'm afraid I did not buy anything." "Well, Doris, I did buy something for you." Mr. Patrick reached into his pocket and brought out a small special treasure. He placed it in her hand, and when she saw it, tears started to flow down her eyes. She clutched to it, and she put it up against her heart and smiled at him. "You bought this for me, Daniel?" "Oh, yes. How could he possibly sell this? So he and his mother won't have to move out of their house." Mrs. Lloyd gasped. Mr. Patrick nodded back. "I may need your help, Doris. May I call on you later? I have many other stops to make today." Mrs. Lloyd looked once more at the treasure in her hand and replied, "Please do."